If you've ever tried to lose body fat and just felt overwhelmed, confused, or like nothing is seeming to work, then this video is going to simplify everything for you. My name's Eric B. I'm an online fitness coach who has helped plenty of people lose fat, build muscle, hit PRs in the gym and even on the platform, and completely transform their bodies, all without the need of starving them or burning them out. We're going to talk about how fat loss actually works physiologically in the body, how to structure your meals for training and for your lifestyle, why most fad diets you see online fail you, and what actually matters the most to get the results to allow you to cut through all the noise you see online. So what is fat loss really? Fat loss comes down to being in an energy or calorie deficit. This means that you burn more calories than you consume through physical activity. So your burn calories will be up here and your consumed calories will be down here. This gap in between my hands will lead to fat loss. Your body does not want to burn fat. It wants to survive. And that is why fat accumulates in the first place. When we overeat our calories, aka we eat more calories than we burn, now this gap turns into stored fat, which is what you see when you take your shirt off and you don't feel confident in the beach. So once it's time to start cutting weight and losing this body fat, your body still wants to hold on to it to keep you alive and to survive, which is why you have to put in the effort to burn more calories than you consume in order to fight through and force your body to utilize the fat stores it has as energy rather than the food you're consuming. Now, with that being said, this does not mean that you should starve yourself, because that is not sustainable. You should do this in a smart, controlled manner. It isn't always just about eating less. It's about doing it right. And the best thing that you can do is put yourself in a 500 calorie deficit, which will get you losing about a pound a week. And that's amazing. You could lose up to 12 pounds in 3 months. Now, if you're not sure what your calories should be, so you don't know what 500 calorie deficit is, just use the link in the description to access my free macro and calorie calculator so you'll know exactly how much you should be eating. All right, so we just said that in order to lose fat and weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. But there's more to it. We need to talk about your macros as well. Calories are energy, like putting gas in a gas tank. But your macros are how your body utilizes that energy and determines what your body looks like, how much muscle to fat ratio you have. Starting with the most important, protein is king. Protein rebuilds cells, not just muscle cells, but all cells in the body. It helps you preserve your lean mass, so hold on to your muscle mass while you focus on fat loss specifically. And another thing that people sleep on is that it helps reduce your cravings because it takes a little bit longer to digest and therefore makes you feel a little more satisfied for a longer period of time. So how much protein should you really be having? Now, there is a very large range of protein, and this is going to be specific to each individual. I have found that 0.8 grams, anywhere up to 1.25 or even 1.5 grams per pound of body weight is going to help you sustain your muscle mass, build muscle mass, and be able to focus on fat loss. Now, why such a big range? It really is going to come down to your experience level and how much protein you enjoy eating. For somebody like myself who's been lifting for 12 years, I'm 220 pounds, I enjoy eating protein. So I eat upwards of 300 grams of protein, which is about 1.25 grams per pound of body weight. And sometimes I go above that, up to 1.5 grams. Now, the main reason I do this is to help me with my cravings. I'm not a small guy. I'm a pretty big boy and I can eat a lot of food. So my appetite is pretty high. Eating more protein allows me to feel full longer and to reduce my cravings and stop snacking on so much junk. Your carbs are going to be what give your muscle and your body energy. This is your body's main source of energy. When you consume carbs, it gets turned into glucose and utilized to make you do movements and dance around and lift weights and walk around. So it will have a direct impact on your performance in the gym, on your energy, and your recovery. Now, thirdly is your fats. Fats get a pretty bad rap because people think that if you eat fats, they make you fat. But no, the only thing that will make you fat is overeating your calories. Fats are super, super important for hormones. So it is important to get at least 20% of your calories from fat sources. Now, this is going to totally depend on how many calories you are eating, where you're currently at in your goals, and it's different for each individual. So the calculator I have in the description below will take care of all of that for you. I've noticed that for my female clients, I would recommend a little bit of a higher fat diet, maybe upwards of 25 to 30% of the calories coming from fat. And this is because women have a lot more hormonal fluctuations due to their menstrual cycle. So having a little bit of extra fats, because they do support hormones, can be helpful throughout that process. So that might be really confusing right now, but if we had to simplify it as much as possible, the best thing I could tell you to do is when you look at your plate, just understand your protein source, your carb source, and your fat source. And always start your plate with your protein source because, like I said, that is by far the most important macronutrients, not just for muscle building, but for entire structure utilization and rebuilding. Now that we understand the nutrition aspect, let's talk about the truth behind cardio. Everyone thinks that if you want to lose weight, you have to do hours of cardio every single day. But this is exactly what causes so many people to fail. Cardio is a tool that helps you burn extra calories. So we're increasing the calories that we burn, which will put us into a bigger deficit if we're already reducing the calories we eat. But it's not necessarily required for fat loss. I personally do enjoy doing cardio, whether I'm in a fat loss or growth phase, solely because the most important aspect of cardio, in my opinion, is that it is amazing for your heart health. So if you're doing this for your health and fitness and you want to focus on longevity, I definitely recommend doing cardio year round to make sure that your heart is strong and healthy as well. But the best thing that you can do for fat loss might not necessarily be dedicated cardio. I have found it to be getting your steps in. And why is that? If you look at your metabolism, your daily activity, aka your steps, is going to be what boosts your metabolism the absolute most and gives you the biggest return of investment in the shortest period of time. The only other thing that is going to boost your metabolism more than getting steps in is building more muscle, which takes a long time. So if you want to see the biggest return of investment right now, the best possible thing that you can do is set a step goal and hit it every single day. Make it a non-negotiable in your mind, and I guarantee that you will see the progress so freaking fast. I would say that 8,000 steps a day is going to be great for the average healthy person. Anything above 10,000 steps, you're really going to be reaching what I would consider pretty elite level, and you're really just going to stay relatively lean year round. Now, with that being said, you just heard me say that the only thing better than steps for boosting your metabolism is building muscle. So if you want to lose body fat, you need to be lifting weights at least 3 times a week, anywhere upwards of 5 times a week. Those two in combination with a calorie deficit, and you're golden, I promise you. Now let's talk about why most diets are failing you. I would say that the biggest reason that a hardcore fad diet like keto, carnivore, paleo, or anything else where you cut out fruit, for example, is going to fail you is because it follows the all or nothing mentality. And unless you are a top dog like Kobe, the all or nothing mentality usually is going to get you nothing. You are completely eliminating food groups from your diet, which makes it super hard to be sustainable. And what I find most people doing is that when they slip up once, they just spiral out of control because they just start binging all the things that they couldn't eat before. It's just unrealistic expectations. You're going to hit plateaus on it. And truthfully, it's not going to be fun. The biggest fix that you can have for this kind of fad diet is start tracking your macros. A lot of people think that tracking your macros is limiting you, but in reality, it's freeing you because you get to learn carbs, proteins, and fats and understands what foods are high in what macronutrients, and therefore you can start crafting and creating your own meals to hit your specific goals without having to cut anything out. You can make room for a sweet treat here and there. You can make room for some freaking fruit because some people think that's bad for you. You can still eat rice and potatoes. You can still have chicken nuggets every once in a while. And as long as you're hitting your macro and calorie goal, you're going to see progress. That is the beauty of learning to track your macros. So let's break down my fat loss framework that has helped me lose 50 pounds and get shredded, and also helped all my clients get shredded, lose weight, and become healthier, stronger versions of themselves. First and foremost, the most important is learn to track your macros. Like I just talked about, nutrition repetition is 90% of your results. So doing your macros on a daily basis consistently is going to educate you and teach you so much about it while giving you the freedom to still enjoy the foods that you love. And the last thing I'll say about that is consistency over perfection every single time, right? Even if you have a bad day or a couple slip ups, track your food. Track your food, have the visual, understand why it's a slip up, understand what foods are higher in calories and not really giving you the best macronutrients. And you look at it as a learning opportunity rather than beating yourself up about it. The next thing is aim for that 8 to 10,000 K steps a day. 10,000 steps a day keeps the fat loss coming your way, is what I like to tell my clients. Next is going to be lifting 3 times a week, minimum. I like to go upwards of 4 to 5 times a week. No more than that, because then you're not going to recover enough. Lifting is going to help you build muscle. It's going to help you maintain your muscle, and it's what gives your body the shape that you want. If you're a man who wants a big Dorito back, broad shoulders, and big arms and wants to look good with their shirt off on the beach, you need to lift weights. You cannot only do cardio. If you're a woman who wants to have that hourglass figure, big legs and a big butt, maybe that V-taper and a little bit wider shoulders with a small waist, you have to lift weights. That is what's going to make it happen for you. Those are by far the 3 most important heavy hitters. But let's talk about 3 other really important factors. Number 4 would be your sleep. You need to be making sure to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. You do not lose fat in the gym. You also do not build muscle in the gym. In the gym and your activity throughout the day is what gives your body stimulus. It gives your body a reason to adapt. But all of that adaptation occurs while you were asleep. So if you do not let your body rest and recover and adapt, then you're going to burn yourself out and you're not going to see the progress that you want. So get your damn sleep in. Number 5 is to make sure to drink so much water. Water is so important. Your body is majorly made out of water, so you need to be drinking and hydrating yourself. I personally drink at least a gallon a day. And the last thing I'll talk about is really slept on, in my opinion, is managing your stress. When you are stressed, you release a stress hormone in your body called cortisol. Cortisol is released by the body from any form of stress, whether it's physical stress like lifting, physical stress like running, physical stress like fight or flight kicking in and you get scared from something. But it also will release cortisol if you are highly stressed from work, if you are highly stressed from anxiety or things that you are just kind of building in your own mind, tough relationships, tough conversations, maybe an argument. All of these things will release stress hormone cortisol in your body and really slow down progress if you do not learn to manage it properly. The best tip I can give you to manage your stress is figure out what works for you. I can tell you what works for me and you can try it out. For myself, it's meditation. Meditation is extremely powerful for me. It gives me 10 to 15 minutes a day to just sit in peace with God and just cut through the noise and just be present for 10 to 15 minutes really helps me relieve a lot of my stress. Another thing that helps me relieve my stress is going outside and going on walks with the dogs. You can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Leave your phone away, go on a walk, go on a nature walk, and I find that to be super helpful to relieve some stress. Bonus, which I know I said already, is that for all of these things that we're talking about, be consistent. It doesn't matter if you're perfect or not. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake here or there. Oh my God, I went over my calories by 50 to 100. I don't care. If you continue to show up every single day, even with your imperfections, you are going to get the best results, especially compared to someone who only wants to show up on a perfect day, because those perfect days rarely exist, even for somebody like myself that's been doing this for so long. So always choose consistency over perfection, because that's what will get you the best results. Bonus. Let's talk about supplements, because everybody always asks about them. Let's talk about what I consider the 3 most useful supplements and then 1 absolutely useless supplement. For the useful supplements, protein powder. Everyone should have a high quality, good tasting protein that they enjoy, simply because this helps you hit your protein goal and will keep you building muscle, losing fat, and feeling amazing. Next is creatine. Whether you're a man or woman, whether you're losing weight or gaining muscle, everyone should be taking creatine. Creatine is going to help with muscle strength, performance, recovery, and now recent studies has shown that it improves cognitive benefits and function as well. And before anybody asks in the comments, no, creatine does not make your hair fall out. Creatine is not bad for you. Creatine is not a drug. It is a supplement. It is found naturally in our food sources, but we would have to eat so much red meat in order to get enough creatine in our diet. That's why it's so beneficial to supplement with it. There are so many studies done on this, guys. There is no negative side effects. 5 grams a day will keep the gains coming your way. Now, the last supplement I'll talk about is fish oils. I believe fish oils are one of the best supplements that you can take on a daily basis. Fish oils are amazing for total inflammation, whether it's joint inflammation, inflammation anywhere in the body, and it's also amazing for heart and brain function. And the one absolutely useless supplement that everybody falls into this trap of is any form of fat burner. There is no tea that you can drink to just melt fat off of you. There is no pill that you can take that will just melt fat off of you. It's honestly a complete waste of your money, and there's so many other things that you can be investing in. If you really feel like you want something to help with the fat burning boost, just have caffeine. That's basically what fat burners are. They just increase your heart rate, which make it pump faster and make you burn a couple extra calories. You can just have a cup of coffee before your workout and it'll do the same thing. If you want to use my personal brand that I love to use, it's Legion Athletics. And if you use my code EricB or use the link in the description, you'll save 20% off your first order. You don't have to use this supplement. I just know that all of their supplements are case studied, third-party tested, so what you see on the label is exactly what you're getting. All right, y'all, it's really that simple. And I know some people might be thinking, there's no way it's that easy. And you're right. Simple does not mean easy. You just have to be consistent. There are going to be tough days. There are going to be days where the mindset wants to fight against you. You have to decide to continue to show up, even on the imperfect days, even if you have to shorten your workouts, even if you have to shorten your steps, just do what you can every single day, and I guarantee you will see great results. If you want my full fat loss or muscle building bundle, just hit the link in the description where you'll get a free macro calculator for you, a free 4-day lifting split, and also a training video on exactly the steps I took to lose 50 pounds in 8 months. And if you're somebody who's ready to take it to the next level and unleash your full potential, then just hit the application link in the description below, apply for coaching, and we'll get you on a strategy call as soon as possible to get you started. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.